This is Catherine Parr, Henry VIII's final and sixth wife, and in this video we're going to be transforming her portraits to see how she might have looked in real life using my technology and Photoshop skills, as well as we're going to be diving into her life to see more about who she was. This is part 2 of my video on Henry VIII's last 3 wives. You can see Anne of Cleves and Catherine Howard. The link is in the description. So let's get started. Thank you for watching. Subscribe for more historical recreations, and let me know in the comments who you want to see in real life. For Henry's sixth and final wife, we have perhaps one of the wiser ones. Catherine Parr was born in 1512, around the same time as Henry's other wives, except Catherine of Aragon, who was much older, and Catherine Howard, who was much younger. She was born in northwest England from a substantial northern family who held many knighthoods. Catherine's mother was a highly educated heiress who was also lady-in-waiting to Catherine of Aragon, Henry's first wife. Catherine Parr was probably named after Queen Catherine, who was her godmother. Catherine's father died when she was young, so she grew up close to her mother. Her education was typical of other well-born girls, and she was fluent in multiple languages. However, she did not enjoy practical needlework and such. Instead, she said, "My hands are ordained to touch crowns and scepters, not spindles and needles." Catherine was married 4 times. Her first marriage was when she was 17 to a 20-year-old heir of a minor lord. Her father-in-law ruled the family with an iron fist and wanted Catherine to become a passive childbearing wife. Catherine, being brought up by her liberal mother, was stronger than anticipated and didn't put up with her father-in-law's poop. She and her husband got along, but he was sickly and died 4 years later. As she didn't have issue, there were no ties with her in-laws' family, so she was given a modest dowry from them and told to leave as they didn't want her there anymore. Still young, she left and got married to her second husband, who was an actual peer. He was a baron, so she became a lady with status and influence in the north. Her husband was forced to side with the Catholics in rebelling against Henry's break from the church. His family, including Catherine and her stepchildren, were held hostage. Henry took down the rebellion, and Catherine's brothers intervened to save her husband's life. Though he survived, the aftermath took a toll on the family's reputation. Afterwards, Catherine's family spent much more time in court. Court was very different than the rural estates she lived in. Here she could find the latest trends in religious matters, as well as fashion and jewelry. The baron died in February 1543 when she was 30. She became a rich widow after that. Though he was twice her age, she generally mourned him and took care of his children as they had no issue of their own. After this, using her late mother's connections with Catherine of Aragon, she renewed her friendship with her daughter Mary, now the illegitimate Lady Mary, which you can learn more on my video about her. She also started a romantic friendship with the late Jane Seymour's brother, Sir Thomas, and at the same time Henry proposed to her. She let Thomas go and married Henry in July 1543. She was 30, he was 52. She saw it as her duty to marry the king. Still with no issue of her own, she was very motherly and integrated her stepchildren into the royal family. She also brought together Henry and his 2 daughters, Mary and Elizabeth, helping to put them back into line of succession, and she even got along with Edward, Henry's heir and only son. Henry trusted Catherine, and when he went on his last campaign against France in 1544, he made her regent, and because her council was comprised of sympathetic members, she obtained effective control and was able to rule as she saw fit. She handled provisions, finances, and musters for Henry's campaigns, signed 5 royal proclamations, and remained in constant contact with unstable Scotland. It is believed that her actions as regent, together with strength of character and dignity, greatly influenced her stepdaughter Lady Elizabeth, the future queen. Henry died in 1547. She again had no issue but became even richer after that, inheriting wonderful estates, and Henry even gave her an annual allowance of £7,000. He also ordered that as Queen Dowager, she be given the same respect as if he were still alive. After Henry, she rekindled her romance with Sir Thomas Seymour, who was similar to her age. He came back to court and they married in secret 4 months later, but this was seen with disrespect as she married so soon after Henry's death. And this is where things get turbulent because Henry's family and Thomas's family kind of lost their respect for them, and altercations came about. In 1548, she became pregnant at 35, which was a surprise. Unfortunately, this would be the beginning of her end. Lady Jane Grey, Edward's future heir, would attend Catherine during this time and receive education from her. Catherine gave birth to a daughter, Mary. Catherine died shortly after from child fever, thought to be from a lack of hygiene around childbirth. Her chief mourner was Lady Jane. Catherine was 36. Catherine's vast wealth was inherited by her husband, who got beheaded for treason a year later. The wealth then was confiscated by the crown. The couple's only daughter, Mary, was now a destitute orphan, whose whereabouts became unknown after the age of 2. Henry's first Catherine and his last Catherine made an excellent beginning and ending to his story. She outlived the king by only 1 year. A year, though, that was less than happy, with a potentially cheating husband and a difficult pregnancy which led to her death. And that's Catherine Parr. So I hope you enjoyed this video. Thank you for watching. Subscribe for more historical recreations, and let me know in the comments who you want to see in real life, and I will see you in the next one.